Hello, hello, and welcome to today's meeting. I am so excited to have you on this call. If you are listening to me right now, it's good to say hello and send me a comment, send me your note. If you are listening to this on a replay, hashtag replay will be good, and then send me whatever question that you have. I'm going to be talking about goals because we are still in the new year, the first month of the year, and we have so many dreams ahead and so many plans that we want to accomplish within the year of 2022. But indeed, if these plans and visions are not written plainly, obviously the chances of achieving them then becomes very, very slim. That is not what you want to happen indeed. So what you then want to happen is to be able to have a way of ensuring that these goals are written down so that you can kind of achieve them as you go along as you go along in 2022 and to be able to achieve your heart desire. Now, regarding the goals that needs to be written, in fact, I did talk about a week ago, talked about how to set your goals so that you can have like a winning 2022. And I talked about the 5 Ps, and just to summarize it, in terms of how you set goals, you need to ensure that your goals are precise, you have a clear idea of what you actually want to achieve, and then stating the goals in the now, i.e. Stating it in the present, because your brain cannot conceptualize when you say I will, and then ensuring that you kind of have the process in place, i.e. how you are going to go step by step to be able to achieve these goals, and then ensuring that your daily task or your daily task to achieve this is monitored, and you having an assessment period to ensure that you are really making progress. And the last but not the least is to praise yourself as often as possible, because when you praise yourself, you actually kind of give your brain the permission to still work harder at getting your goals achieved. And those are the ones that we discussed last week. This week, I'm going to talk about the 7 F's categories. So I call them categories of goals. And the reason being that in terms of goal setting, yes, you have the step-by-step what you need to do to be able to achieve a particular goal. But what goals do you want to achieve is what the 7 F's will talk about. And so I'm going to share my screen to go walk through the 7 F's, like one after the other, and just explain what that looks like if you were to think about setting your goals in that manner. So I'm going to just give me a moment to do the sharing of the screen to kind of get us going as far as that is concerned. Okay. Yes, just in the process of getting that nailed at this point. So moving this away and then getting the presentation, doing the presentation part, which is present, and then we'll soon be there. Right, so here we go. I'm just gonna move my screen away so that you can see properly. Here is how you do it with regards to the categories of goal setting. So I call it how to achieve a holistic lifestyle in 2022. The reason being that you could decide as a business owner to say that, you know, I'm just going to set my goals regarding business. But what about your personal life? What about your family life? What about your friends? What about your fitness? You know, your health. So those are the things that I want to walk you through so that you can have this in mind, because it is imperative that when you are setting goals, it's not just the goals of the now, or the goals of the actual thing that you want, because especially as a business owner, we are out there to be able to provide services and products to people in exchange to receive money. But when you get the money, what do you do with it? And what are you getting the money at the expense of? So that is the reason why thinking holistically about your general goals is important, so that whatever you're doing with regards to going after this particular goal, especially with business goal, you want to also ensure that you are not just focusing on that, you are focusing on other things that actually makes your life worthwhile, that at the end of the day, when you are able to make the money, grow your business, then the other aspects of your life will be great as well. Now, I'm going to talk about faith to start with. I know that I talk about business, but indeed, faith, as Patrice Washington describes it, so Patrice Washington is the founder of Redefining Wealth for Yourself. And indeed, she is the host as well of the Redefining Wealth podcast. Very, very useful information that she shares with various people on a weekly basis. So that's something that you need to kind of, I think, follow her on Facebook and follow her, online on YouTube, to ensure that you get fed with this great information that she shares on a weekly basis. Now, coming back to what she says about faith, it's not just religious faith, it's about your fitness and your mental aptitude. So I'm going to talk about your mental aptitude first, and indeed, I will talk about faith as EIE, your religious faith, for those of us who are faith-based Christians or faith-based whatever religion. Now, in terms of your mental aptitude, as a business owner, that is the reason why I put that first, because you have to have the right mindset to be able to achieve what it is that you want to achieve. Because without that, it's just going to be so difficult for you to make that happen, because there will be challenges along the way. You would have times that perhaps you will not want to do what you're doing. And I remember somebody was asked, that is Jeff Letts, of founder of Genistar, the financial education company. And the question was, he was asked, did you ever think about quitting, when you were building your business? And he said, every day. He said several times, every day. So as a business owner, when you see people succeed, it is not that they didn't feel like giving up, but it's because they actually built their mental aptitude, so that when the times or the nagging thinking erupts, as in getting them to think about quitting because of one challenge or the other, which certainly would happen. As the saying goes, in life, nothing is for forever, nothing is easy, nothing can forever go smoothly. So with the best of intentions and the best of planning that you have in place, you could face challenges in your business, and that sometimes would make you feel like, what, is this even worth it? Should I just go back to work? Should I just, forget about this and just find something else to do? You would think about that. But the thing that will get you going would be your mental aptitude. So the fact that you have really built your mental resilience to understand that nothing good comes easy, and also to understand that several people that several people that you respect actually went through the same thing. In fact, today I was listening to Kim Gast. So Kim is one of the ladies. She's one of the social media queens, an online business savvy lady, over 20 years of experience. And she was talking about the fact that when she started, even without social media, it took her over 5 years before she was able to make $60. Come on, how many of us would have that patience to be able to continuously work on the craft to ensure that this happens for us? So, and I want to say that she was one of the people that I followed initially. And even at some point when I realized that her account followed mine on Twitter, that was so exciting. And that really got me thinking that, wow, what I was doing was important and is worth, continuing. So yes, your mental aptitude is will stand you out as far as your goals are concerned. And so you need to find out how are you going to make sure that your mental aptitude is right, i.e. listening to people that you respect, listen to people that you want to be like, listen to people, industry leaders, because there is a saying also, I think by Zig Ziglar, that motivation is like bathing. You don't bath once and that's it. You have to continuously bath on a day-to-day basis to make you look good and feel good. So in terms of your mental aptitude, you need to constantly feed your mind with the right stuff to be able to make it happen. And I've always said that if you are working from home, ensuring that you are listening to empowering videos and audios, books are very, very important to get you to that level of mental fitness. Also, in terms of your faith, i.e. a Christian faith. So if you're a Christian like myself, obviously your prayers, your reading of your Bible, or your participation in your congregation or fellow Christians is key for you to be able to make the year a great one. And how would you do that? You cannot do that by just wishing it. You have to be intentional about it. You have to be intentional. And sometimes I have to put my alarm on to remind me of certain meetings that I have to attend, even for prayers or even for my private time of reading and studying the word. So these are things that you need to put in place and make sure that it is done on a day-to-day basis. So it's not just that, I'm in business and I have to wait until, when I have spare time. That wouldn't work, because you would realize, especially with business, time can be so consuming that you wouldn't have the time to then do the things that you feel that are perhaps secondary. So that is the reason why you need to also calendar in these things as far as your growth or as far as your faith is concerned. So the next one is your firm. So we've done F1, which is your faith. The next one is your firm. So firm indeed means that your business. So in terms of your business goals is quite crucial in order for you to succeed, because without that, even if you are working, I think it's Robert Lapin, the author of Thou Shalt Prosper, and also his other book, I can't remember his name now, but it's about Christians and business. He talked about your firm. Even if you are a business, if you are working, your employer is your customer. And then so you need to ensure that you are actually serving your employer right. Otherwise, certainly if you're not doing your optimum best, obviously for some work, you can just coax with the work, but your opportunity of getting promoted or just even living life to the maximum will be limited, depending on if you don't have a set goals as to where you want to go and develop even within working arena. But when it comes to business, it's even more imperative, because knowing what you are aiming for with regards to your business is critical. And again, going back to or referencing back to the faith, when you clearly know what you want, when you clearly know where your business is going, yes, when the challenges hit home, what then happens is that you would have the resilience to carry on working. But when you write things on paper, as Brian Tracy says, when you write things on paper, it is like commanding your brain to bring these things to you. But this is an example of in terms of even just thinking about it deeply, how it works. Recently, I've been working on Upwork with regards to getting clients, and I realized that even though I had success when I first started with Upwork, it then came to a point that I would have a discovery meeting, and the person will say, okay, let me think about it, or let me come back to you on this. And then majority of them don't. In fact, if you know anything about business and marketing, you know that when somebody says, let me think about it, it could be, there could be several reasons. But indeed, sometimes they would say that, okay, I will make the deposit on Upwork because that's how the payment goes. And then I wouldn't hear from them. So I was kind of thinking about how can I get around this? Because by the time I'm talking to this person, they're excited about growing their social media. It's just the time that they leave, things happens. Either they contact someone else who would choose to, do whatever they choose to for them, or give them substandard, I would say, a service for a lower fee, and then they don't come back to me. So my thinking was, okay, when I finish with the call, what I would then do is that I will ask them to, I'll permit them to share their screen so that they will do the hiring process on Upwork even before we end the call. And this was just a thought I was thinking. And then so out of the blue, I got this call from this lady who's proposal I sent way back in October. And then so when we finished the meeting, the next thing she said was, okay, so what do I do? And I said, oh, you need to hire me. And she said, so how do I do that? And then that was it. Straight away, we went on to that step of, me walking her through how to hire me on Upwork, and then that was done. Now, what I'm saying is, with regards to your goals, even the thought of it have power, because then it gets your mind to be structured in a way that when that scenario comes, you are able to deal with it succinctly. So with your business goals, even, it is said that it's more powerful. Brian Tracy advised that write your goals on a day-to-day basis, which he believes that works even better. But sit down and think about what you want to achieve this year with regards to your business. Think about what your goals are in terms of growing the business, how many customers you want to serve, how much money you want to make, and breaking these down into step-by-step process, and just kind of following that through with regards to the 5 P's that I talked about initially. So your business goals is paramount, because that is going to help you to be able to serve the number of people that you desire to serve. And that leads me nicely to the next one, which is finance. Money is everything. I stand to be corrected, but money is not everything, obviously. That was just, to jog your memory so that you sit up if you're listening to me. Money is just money. All that it means is, or it does, is to help us achieve things that we want to achieve in life. But money is important. And the reason why money is important is that money is the medium of exchange. So whatever it is that you want that you don't have, you can literally, I think, get it with money. The only thing that you can buy with money is love, perhaps. Otherwise, I think there is almost nothing in this world that you cannot buy with money. But then, of course, you need to ensure that your money, how you're making your money, is one, in sync with your values and your goals. I mean, your personal desire and your personal values and mission of your business. Because as the saying goes, and this is also from Brian Tracy as well, yes, Brian Tracy says it, and then this guy that I was listening to, Chris Voss, he wrote the book Never Split the Difference. He talks about, when you are negotiating, for example, it is not about cutting someone short and you having all the wins. If you do that, yes, you might have a win, but for how long can you keep doing that? And that is also a very difficult way of doing business, in my opinion. You want to ensure that your customers are satisfied with the services that you provide them, or the products that you have discussed with them with regards to what the products would do for them in terms of the what they would stand to achieve. You want to be in a position to get that across, and to also serve the people that you are meant to serve to the best of your ability. So yes, with finances, you need to know how much you want to earn, how much your services would go for. And in fact, this is one of my my mentors' statements, and that is Nettie B. So Nettie B was talking to us about pricing, so the founder of Power Up Coach, coaching, Power Up Coach. It is. She was talking about pricing and sometimes how we underprice ourselves as business owners. Of course, when you are pricing, there are so many things that will come into play with how you price, and all this should be in your goal planning. I.e., if you have this set of skills, obviously you're looking into the market and thinking, okay, these people or people in this market are charging this for this category of skills that I have. And you then, if you want to charge more, of course, if you want to do high ticket coaching, for example, you want to also have the level and the skills required to be able to deliver the service. So it's not just a case of convincing people to part with their money, because yes, you can do that once, but subsequently that won't be good for your business. So ensuring that your financial goals is set, i.e., what you're going to give people in exchange for that money that you are going to you set yourself to achieve, is very, very important. Also, with financial goals as well, actually having a budget is very important, because you want to ensure that you are not spending far more than you earned. And when it comes to wealth creation, because that's where we are going as business owners, isn't it? So when it comes to wealth creation, you want to ensure that you're planning well in terms of investing some money, saving some money, and investing some money as well. So your financial goal is quite key. Now, family. In terms of entrepreneurship, I think that families can be, family is very, very important when it comes to you being an entrepreneur. But sometimes, because we are so hooked on getting the business right, families can suffer the consequence of not being able, or not having spending quality time with them. But here is the thing. The reason why this doesn't happen is because we are not planning about it. We are not planning goals for our family. So in terms of family and goals, you need to ensure that, okay, this year, how do I want to communicate with my family? How do I want to connect with them? If you have younger children, how often do we need to go out on a month-to-month basis? And going out doesn't necessarily mean spending money. When mine was younger, it was so easy to take them out, because I could take them out with sandwiches as well, and they would go to all the beautiful parks in London, and then they would just have fun. But as they grow older, they want to go into restaurants after we go out, so sometimes that can be a little bit expensive. But indeed, it is important for you to still keep that in mind in terms of going out with the family and also having quality time at home. This is something that, by God's grace, I have been able to do because of what I do. I work from home. So I dedicate an hour at least a day. Sometimes it's more than an hour for us to just sit and talk about, literally literally anything. In fact, we started off with UCB, so United Christian Broadcasters. We would start by reading their word for today, and then proceeding with just discussing what we've read, and then talk about other things during the day. Recently, I have also discovered, I have been reading this book called, let me just show you the book, The 5 Love Languages of Teenagers. I think you perhaps should see it. 5 Love Languages of Teenagers by Gary Chapman. And it is a very, very good book as far as looking after your teenagers is concerned. And so, yes, if you are a parent who is having teenagers, or even if you have children, because there's another version for 5 Love Languages of Children, I would recommend that highly for you. He talks about when families think about 3 things during your day what happened, or what significant thing happened, or what was the thing that happened that you want to talk about during your day. And so talking about 3 things, by the time it comes around, it's an exciting period of us actually getting to know each other, what has happened in our day, and what the feelings are, and how we can support whoever, whether they were feeling happy or they were feeling not so happy. We would talk about that as well. So it is imperative that you think about your family. Patrice Washington also says that if you don't calendar in some of these things, your day would finish, and then every day just comes and goes, especially with business, and then you will never have time to do the things that you want to really do. Friends is also friends, being in touch with your friends, or having a goal to be with your friends or build your friendship, is one of also the important areas of life as far as your goals are concerned. Friends, I would say that there are 2 ways that you can keep that in mind as far as friendship is concerned. Ensuring that you're calling people, because this day and age, it is so hard to even get somebody on the phone because people are forever working or very, very busy. So what I tend to do is that I schedule time to call. So I would text whoever I want to call. And I also say that I will do a certain number of calls to friends in a week. So it could be 2, just 2, call 2 friends a week. That is a goal. And then, so I make sure that I do that, and sometimes it's more, because when someone is reaching out, the only thing that I can say is that we would arrange time so that when I'm doing my chores, I can receive the calls. And that's one other thing that you should bear in mind. This would tie into time management, in terms of your day-to-day activities. But of course, when you have time, not only phone calls, but also having time to meet up and to socialize. Not so much in this day and age, because you need to stay indoors and stay safe. But of course, we are hoping and praying that things lift up so quickly so that life will get back to normal. Now, with regards to business, other side of friendship is that for friends who definitely are not thinking in line with what you are, or what you are becoming, i.e., becoming an entrepreneur, or thinking differently in terms of thinking seriously about your goals and achieving them. If you have friends who are not coming, or who are not in line with that, obviously it is up to you. But what I can say is that it is a challenge when you have a friend who will constantly talk negative, or put you down, or put others down. It can be difficult to be around, especially when you are doing your personal development things and listening to books, listening to people who tell you that these things can drag you down. And then you have a friend who constantly either criticize themselves or criticize other people. It's just not, for me, the synergy in there usually doesn't go well. So if that is the case, you might need to find friends who definitely are into that positive mindset, and also empowering you as to where you are going, and then giving you the courage to do that as well. Fitness. So fitness is also twofold. In terms of fitness, it is good to be fit, because like the saying goes, your health is your wealth. And without you being healthy, I believe that once one becomes ill, everything of yours just kind of stops. And all you are ever thinking about is how to get healthy. So obviously that makes it even more imperative for you as a business person or business owner, I would say, to look for the opportunities, or to plan, to set your goals for the opportunity of you being fit and healthy. And for fitness, for example, it is not just by going to the gym. It is indeed by you ensuring that, okay, this is the number of minutes I want to do, exercise a day. In fact, it is quite easy now to do exercise. You don't have to go out too. You might go out for fresh air, but you don't have to go out to do exercise, because you can have all that on YouTube, Zumba, all the things that we, that you can find online. Afrobeats, Afro dance, workouts, they are all online, and you can do your 30 minutes a day. Or they say do 30 minutes up to 4 to 5 times a week. That is the required number of hours of number of period of exercises to do. Of course, if you are going to work, that's different. It depends on what you do, being on your feet and things like that. Also, in terms of fitness, also your mental fitness is important. I already alluded to that, i.e. you being mindful of what you put into your mind, what you allow into your mind, i.e. watching news. If the news is not serving you, there's no point. I have read about this somewhere. I can't remember where to reference it from, but he was talking about, I think, yes, it's Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins was saying that if you wake up in the morning and you see someone come to put a truckload of rubbish in your front door, what would you do? You definitely would go after that person, and because you will not have that. But here's the thing, he says, sometimes listening to news can seem like that, because you are just allowing people to say negative things or to kind of portray the world as a very, very negative place. And then that is so, so depressing. In fact, I rarely watch news, but on few occasions, sometimes even when I sit in front of the TV, I don't know what to watch, because it's all doom and gloom. And you need to guide your mind about that, because there is so much positivity out there if you choose to. And also this point is worth noting. I remember in 2020 when the pandemic had just happened and there was so much depression out there, and I was on social media and I never saw that, because the people that I follow will not talk about things like that. And how social media works is that the things that you touch on is what the more you get, the more of. So yes, in a nutshell, just guide your mind from these things that would kind of keep you depressed and keep you feeling that there is not a lot happening in the world. There is so much excitement going on everywhere in this world that you need to tap into, rather than allow yourself to be drawn into the other side. And I think also the area of news, for instance, why the news people would only report or mostly report negative things, is for them to sell the news, because bad news sells. And of course, you don't want to be used in that way. You want, as an entrepreneur, to be listening to things that will empower you and move you forward. So making goals on these things, your fitness, and also not just physical, but mental, is crucial. Last but not the least is fun. Now, here is the thing with fun. As far as business is concerned, we are so busy in terms of trying to find whatever it is that we want to get, to achieve one thing after the other, that sometimes we forget entirely about having fun. But here is the thing, you need to incorporate fun activities into your life, and that cannot happen. That cannot happen if you don't intentionally calendar it into your diary or into your plan or into your goals. It won't happen. You want to make sure that you are having fun. And by the way, having fun can be general. In fact, Patrice also talked about this fun. She calls it me time as well. Having time to relax, having time to read, having time to just be you, and to have time even to meditate and just to think and to pray, are all important areas of life that you need to consider. And fun will also tie into your family goals. So your fun could be you alone or you and the family. having the opportunity to visit places and to have holidays is also something of important. In the United Kingdom, having holidays here isn't sometimes can be really daunting, because if it's not an indoor place, you never know when it will rain. But of course, you still have to, even if it's a day trip, you'll be able to have the opportunity of having fun with yourself and having fun with friends or family. So those are the 7 goals, 7 F's, categories of goal setting. And yes, I want to just say that if you have listened this far, send me a comment, like the video, share the video, let me know what you think. And indeed, if it's on YouTube, subscribe to my channel. And yes, I will come your way once again. Have a fantastic day, night, time, and I'll come your way next week. Take care.